York City. Mataji was in Gujarat that time. And guess what? He met Prabhupada. Prabhuji had a chance to meet here in New York, and Prabhupada went to Gujarat, and Mataji met him in the Gujarat. So it's like such a coincidence, you know. And since then, they have been serving wonderfully. Since Prabhuji retired after his service in New York City for many years, last 20 years, almost last 20 years, they have been serving, 22 years. Every day, no matter what happens, every day both of them are there for the Mangal Aarti. For last 22 years, they haven't missed even a single Mangal Aarti. Amazing service. So, you know that both of them are a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. They are the senior disciple. Maharaj had a great respect for both of them. So, with that, let's welcome this Vrindavan Prabhu with loud Haribol. Stronger than me. Still a lot of people want to enter, so please.
Om Adhyanatirandasya Jnananjanashakya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamehyam Dadati Swapadikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saguna Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasetam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Lalita Shri Sakamitam Chat Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gauri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sarvapani Sadogavo Dogda Gopalananda Akshasa Virvokta Uddam Gitam Ekam Sasam Devaki Putra Gita Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Ekam Mantra Devaki Putra Nama Karma Ekam Devaki Putra Seva Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 18, last chapter, chapter number 54. So it takes about 55 months. Bhaktya mam abhijanati Yavan yasyasmi tattvara Tato mam tattvato gyatva Vishate tadanantaram Bhaktya mam abhijanati Yavan yasyasmi tattvata Tato mam tattvato gyatva Vishate tadanantaram Bhaktya mam abhijanati Yavan yasyasmi tattvata Tato mam tattvato gyatva Vishate tadanantaram.
word to word meaning. Bhaktya,
Bhaktya,
pure devotional service.
by pure devotional service.
Man,
Mam,
Abhinati, one
Abhijanati,
can know. Yavan, as much as.
as much as
Yavas Chatasmi, as I am.
as I am,
Tattvatah, in truth.
in truth.
Tatah, thereafter.
Thereafter,
Ma,
me,
Tattvatah,
Tattvatah, in truth.
Natva,
Natva,
Visate,
Vishate,
he enters.
he enters.
Tad,
Tad,
Anantaram, thereafter.
thereafter.
Listen by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Translation. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into my kingdom. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and his plenary portions cannot be understood by mental speculation nor by non-devotees. If anyone wants to understand Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take to the pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Otherwise, the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will always be hidden. As already stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.25, Nam Prakashana Sarvasva. He is not revealed to everyone. No one can understand God simply by erudic scholarship or by mental speculation. Who is actually engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service can understand what is. University degrees are not helpful. One who is fully conversant with the Krishna science becomes eligible to enter into spiritual kingdom, the abode of Krishna. Becoming Brahman does not mean that one loses his identity. Devotional service is there. As long as devotional service exists, there must be a God, devotee, in the process of devotional service. Such not order and peace. One after liberation. Liberation involved in getting free from the concept of the material life, the spiritual life. The same distinction is there. The same individual is there, but in pure Krishna consciousness. One should not mistakenly think the word Visati enters into, supports the one to become one in homogeneous impersonal Brahman. No such means that one can enter into the abode of the Supreme Personality Godhead in one's individuality to engage in his association and render service unto. For instance, a green bird enters into a green tree, does not become one with the tree, but to enjoy the fruits of the tree, impersonalized generally give example of river flowing into the ocean and merging. This may be the source of happiness for following personality. But the personality keeps the personal individuality like an aquatic in ocean. We find that so many living entities within the ocean. If you go deep, surface acquaintances with the ocean is not sufficient. One must have a complete knowledge of the aquatic living entity ocean depths. Because of this pure devotion, the devotee can understand the transcendental qualities and opulences of God in truth. As it is stated in the 11th chapter, only by devotional service one can understand the same as it confirmed here. One can understand the Supreme Personality by devotional service and enter into his kingdom. After attainment of bhakti, Brahma stage of freedom from material conception, devotional service begins by one's hearing about Lord. When one hears about Supreme Lord, automatically the Brahma stage develops when material conception, material contamination, greediness, and the lust for sense enjoyment disappear. Lust and desire disappear from the heart. The devotee becomes more and more attached to the service of God, and by such attachment he becomes free from the material contamination. In the state of the life he can understand the Supreme Lord. This is a statement of Srimad Bhagavatam also. After liberation, the process of bhakti, the transcendental service continues. The Vedanta Sutra confirms. Apranyati tatrapi. This means that after liberation, the process of devotional service continues. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the real devotional liberation is defined as reinstatement of the living entity in his original identity, his own constitutional position. The constitutional position is already explained. Every living entity is part and parcel, fragmental part and parcel fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his conspicuous position is stored. After liberation, this is never stopped. Actual liberation is getting free from conception of life. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Adhuta Swami Snake Cheta Supreme Bhagme Ramsarastra Prabhu Pada Katha Panda Nomi Bhakti Charutam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Adhuta Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pachari Nirvise Sunyamani Paste Satari Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. See, here is the process in this chapter. This is the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is titled as Moksha. Urgently liberated from this material conception of the life. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. Chapter 1 begins from Visad Yoga. Chapter 1 is the Visad Yoga. Chapter 1 is a Visad Yoga, where I was lamenting. He was in sorrow that he didn't want to fight. After hearing Bhagavad Gita from Lord Sri Krishna. This comes in the last chapter 18, when he became liberated from this material combination, his misunderstanding about the body and the soul and about his relatives and about many, many things. He has some conception, he has that idea. He became free from that. And ultimately he came to the path, he accepted the path of bhakti. Now, bhakti is described different places, but mainly bhakti means to perform the devotional service for the Lord. And there are examples, especially in Srimad Bhagavatam. So many examples are mentioned, especially we see Bhagavatam as Mahajans that we follow. Usually Bhagavatam as those Mahajans we follow in the footsteps of Mahajan. And they begin Swayambhu Sambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manujana Kapisma Barirva Yasake Vayam. And there is Prahlad Maharaj in that, who is very youngest among all of them. If you see the whole list of the Mahajans, Prahlad Maharaj is the youngest one. Of course, Chatus Kumar, the four Kumaras, the four sons of Brahma, they were always like a children, they look like children, but they were really very, very old person because they were first four sons born of Brahma. So, Satish Kumar looked like little children only, nothing than that. They were very small children. Compared to Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad was a real grown up. Prahlad Maharaj is a devotee of God. And after he was killed by Narsingha Bhagwan, we know the whole story, but we don't want to go into the story. But we will go how Prahlad Maharaj Bhakti is asked to develop the Bhakti. He is Bhakta Sriromani, he is one of the 12 Mahajans and we have to follow in his footsteps. So he is describing that the path of Bhakti is not attained, or path of Bhakti is on a material platform. Path of Bhakti is on a spiritual platform. And one must understand what is a material platform, what is a spiritual platform. To understand that, he gives the example, different example he is giving. And in this example, he is explaining that how this spiritual matter is different from the material matter. Of course, we do understand that spirit and matter, they are two different things. There is no question, that's very easy to understand. He is telling that to understand the bhakti path, bhakti amama vijnanati, he said bhakti once performs devotional service, one becomes attached to it and one continuously does it. And then finally he comes to the stage where he is ready to go back to Godhead. But in this path, Prahlad Maharaj explains that it is not that bhakti can be attained by some possessing or some having some qualifications which are material qualifications. Actually speaking, material qualifications are of no use in bhakti even. Sometimes they may be, people are thinking that he is a very beautiful person, he is a very strong person, he has so much strength, so much knowledge, so many things he has to be able to do some bhakti, but no, these are not necessary things. Yes, they can be there, But it is not absolutely necessary that these things only help to develop your bhakti. And Prahlad Maharaj is giving the example totally. Then by having this kind of qualification, by these kind of things, one cannot be a devotee of the Lord. To become the devotee of the Lord, one must have the love for the God. And he is telling in description, Srimad Bhagavatam, we mentioned this story is that not the beauty, not the wealth, not other things will help to develop your bhakti. And he is giving the example that are some power of senses. Many people have some power of senses, many people have some special siddhis. That will not help us develop the bhakti. That may help something for something else, but it is not for the bhakti. As giving the examples. First example is giving the vultures. Vultures, they go high, they fly very high in the air, up to 3 to 4 miles away from the ground. But vultures have the capacity to see something on the ground from that height. And the dead body, and the vulture will come down right from that height, right on the ground to pick up. So you can see his eye power 4 or 5 miles away. And the sky, as soon as they see dead body, vultures don't kill anybody, they just get the dead to eat it. So they saw a dead body and it will come down and right away pick up. That will be good. Similarly, dogs have a capacity. Dogs have a capacity of smiles. Nose is powerful. As soon as dog sees or smells some unknown person walking towards him, he will start barking right away. Just by the smell potency, he will understand that this is somebody else coming out here, not his own owner or not his somebody he knows. Fish also, the small fish, they move in the ocean and they have capacity to find out how the big fish is coming to them by just contact with the water. By just contact with the other fish will understand that big fish is coming to kill, so they will move right on from the path. So these are some of the power that we see in some of the animals. Human beings have also some power, very limited power. We don't have that power that we can see this much or we can understand or something like that. No, we don't have that power. But Prahlad Maharaj explains that these powers don't mean anything for understanding spiritual and don't mean anything for understanding bhakti. These are not helpful for bhakti. These are some power on a material platform. His powers are only for his material siddhis or material perfection. That's how they attain the perfection, but that is nothing to do with the bhakti. So he keeps on telling that, then how to develop bhakti? Then he's telling, bhakti is developed only by the devotional service. As again and again pointing out. Of course, this is our constitutional position. As I said, Jiva Swarupa Krishna Tadyas. We are all eternal servants of Krishna. And we have to engage our service or we have to serving Krishna. That's all. Because we are by constitution we are always, no matter what position you are, no matter who you are, no matter how big person are in your company or in anywhere, but still you are serving somebody. Anybody cannot say that I don't serve anybody. When the president of the country is the country, he is the highest title, so he is serving the country. And the lowest person is also serving somewhere. So we are all servants. But unfortunately in this material conception or in this material world, we have turned our service attitude towards Maya. That is the biggest trouble for us. In terms of serving Maya Pati, we are Maya only. Maya means serving some powerful desires, calm, and sometimes we serve some other the Maya, but we are all become a servant of Maya. So Krishna consciousness is teaching us how to change that attitude from serving to Maya, change to, and that's the right place to do. Because that's our right constitutional position. So if you are a servant, then we should do it, the service has to be properly, otherwise we will wasting our human birth. Everybody is engaging some service. Why not we engage in proper service? So this is what Prahlad Maharaj is advising, that we should always serve Krishna. That is what our position is. And serving Krishna is our constitutional position, and we should engage that service. And by doing that thing, not only we become satisfied, but we also attain our goal of life. Our goal of life is definitely, our goal of life is to reach Krishna Prem. That is the goal of life. Human body is not meant for anything else. Not that we are in animal body. We have animals. If you don't utilize human birth properly for its purpose, then ultimately you get some different bodies. Whatever whatever desire we have, we try to pull up the desires and that body. So there are so many bodies mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, 8 million from 8,000 species of life, and we can get one of them. So it is not that we will be getting it, but that is not the way to get out of the material world or material this birth, old age, and disease and death. We must learn how to get out of this birth, old age, disease, and death by learning the devotional service. And Prahlad Maharaj is giving the example that you must perform this service all the time, because we are eternally servants and we should do that thing. And this service is not a difficult service to engage in any service. It is not that necessary the one has to do only the seva on the altar, and one who is facing the deities, one who is doing something on the altar, he is the only servant. No. If you are working, if you are serving Krishna, you can serve outside Krishna. If you are developing Krishna, garden for Krishna, you are working as outside, and that is also service for Krishna. If you are cleaning the temple, that is also service for Krishna. Any service done in connection with Krishna is Krishna's service, and that is very helpful. So that is all we have to develop, and this service is developed. Radha Maharaj is mentioning again and again that develop this service, and that's the service by God. But we know also that people are saying Maya. Srila Prabhupada mentioned in one of the classes that in Bible it is mentioned, let there be a creation, and creation was there. So similarly, Bhagavad Gita also mentioned about this thing, that there be a creation, creation comes up. But at the same time, people with knowledge, people with some high knowledge, they think that they know better than anything else. So they say, no, it's not that the God has manifested by this, let there be creation, or let something like that. No. It has come from a scientific thing. They are knowledgeable. They think that the material universes came out from some chunk. There was junk in the sky, chunk bursted, universes came out. That's what their idea is. Question is, of course, they have some idea. But the question comes up, where did the chunk come from? Chunk has come, of course, their belief is the chunk was there, chunk bursted and the universes came out. But where did the chunk come from? That they have no answer for that question. So that is what they are guessing. This is what the material science means. That they want their own, they want to prove their ideas, they want to show on their idea, and they want to say that this is what the material creation is. Material creation cannot be created by material creation is created by Krishna. That is what, because that is the only person who can create the material creation. Nobody else can do that thing. So this is what Prahlad Maharaj explains, that this devotional service, the service where Krishna remains in the center of the service, and everything else is surrounded by Krishna. Second thing is this thing about this love. Bhakti, of course, in this verse it is mentioned, Paramama Vijanat. Bhakti. Bhakti is a love for the Krishna. And the love Krishna is mentioned that Brahman Janati the Brahmana. One has to know Brahma Bhuta Pasanatma. Stage, when Brahma Bhuta stage is there, where one understands the Brahma Bhuta stage means he has understood Brahman. Brahman means not Brahman, but it is understood that mostly Brahmanas, they should understand Brahman. Understanding Brahman means understanding superior knowledge, understanding superior Krishna's power. That's what one should understand. And Brahman is supposed to know is Brahman. So that's why they are in full satisfaction. They are fully satisfied by this Brahman. But it is not that satisfaction comes only from that. Satisfaction comes also by different ways. By serving Patram Puspam Phalam Turo. Isme there is the Brahman. But devotee is giving all these things with a devotional service. With the devotion is serving, the devotion is giving, and Krishna is accepting. Even though Krishna does not need things. Krishna is not in necessity of any of those things. But still he accepts because our devotion, person is serving me, so let me accept those things. So he accepts it with love. That is not the item. Question is not the thing that is offering. The question is with what intention. With what intention? With the love and devotion it is offered, so I am accepting. The love and devotion key part in that, not the item itself. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami used to mention that, oh, somebody is giving me rice, somebody is giving me this, somebody is giving me. But if I have no appetite, what am I going to do then? It's not going to be accepted. So similarly, something is offered to Krishna without any love and devotion, he is not going to be accepted. Even though maybe very opulent prasadam, very opulent thing. If there is no love and devotion, he will not accept. That's the love and devotion is the important part of this. So one must understand that one should do service with love and devotion. And the service is the one that is to perform with that intention. We can enter or we can understand Krishna's position or our position. We remain eternally servants of Krishna. Another part of this service is how satisfaction comes from this kind of Brahman realization also. It is mentioned, Yavana said Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasauchati Napsati. If you are on the platform of Brahma Bhuta platform, which is the realization of Brahman, then you will never be in lamentation. Nasauchati na kausati. You have no desire and you have no kind of worries. No sauchati na kausati. This is what we see here, no sauchati na kausati. But in this world, we have created this material creation, material manifestation. Whatever we have so many big skyscrapers, big bridges, big many things. And these things we have created, so a person can understand that our brain, which is a very small brain compared to anybody's, God's brain, compared to Krishna's brain, he can create such a opulent thing that why not Krishna can do. They understanding that Krishna, they don't want to accept Krishna as Supreme Personality God, because they think that if you take the name of Krishna, then you have to surrender to Krishna. And they don't want to surrender. Surrendering process is an important process. Sarvadharman Parijaya, Mahamekam Sarvamaham, Sokshasmi Master. He will become free from that, but he doesn't want to surrender. So this satisfaction comes from this service to Krishna. And satisfaction is the one that were mentioned. There are other examples where it is mentioned that elephant, Gaj, we know the moksha, Gajendra moksha. Gajendra moksha, in Srimad Bhagavatam it is meant, Gajendra moksha. Gajendra was in trouble. He's an animal. Animals can have also this kind of thing. It is not that human beings only can perform devotional service. Any can perform devotional service too. It is not necessary. But this is the example of Gajendra moksha. Gajendra was in trouble when he was being dragged in by the crocodile. And Gajendra, he was in this body, but before he was in some other body, before that. So he remembers his past activity, and from that he remembered Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he remembered. Help for Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu right away came there, and he saved this Gajendra. And the animals can remember this, that Krishna. Animals have the ability to remember Krishna. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going through the Jharkhand forest, he was chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All animals, even the tigers and the deer, they were embracing each other. We only not heard that now. But because of the chanting of the holy name, they have purified. They are not in their material consciousness, but they are in a spiritual consciousness. And when you go on from the spiritual platform, you become something different. You are utterly in a different place. So by chanting the holy name of Krishna, we come from the material platform to spiritual platform. And this material platform, spiritual platform, where devotional service is very easy to follow. So one must try to raise up from this material platform, spiritual platform. And the spiritual platform is where one can understand Krishna very quickly. Understand? Of course, that is, Krishna is always on that platform anyway. Very often people think of that thing that Krishna comes in this material and he looks like one of us, so he must be on the also material platform. That is a misunderstanding. Krishna, all the time, whether in this world or in another world, is always on a spiritual platform. He is always a spirit, all the time. But misunderstanding that when he comes in our form, in order, why he is coming in our form, because then and then we can understand why he comes, how Krishna comes down in the form of the deities. Otherwise, we don't have an ability to understand this Krishna's consciousness. We don't have the words in Srimad Bhagavatam that mention that you cannot understand, our material senses cannot grasp something. Thank you. Our material senses are so blunt that they can't understand spiritual things. Atah Sri Krishna Namadi. Srimad Bhagavatam is a sloka. Atah Sri Krishna Namadi Nam Bhavet Nimidiya. Sevan Mukhe Jivadu Swayam Evas Purati Adha. Sri Krishna Namadi, Krishna's Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila. They are on a spiritual platform. We have to understand that. Srimad Bhagavatam says that Atah Sri Krishna Namadi Nam Bhavet Indriya. Or blunt senses cannot grasp, grahya, cannot understand, cannot realize the Krishna's Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila. So how can you understand that he mentioned in the second to line, Sevan Mukhe Jivadu Swayam Evas Purati. By engaging our tongue in service of the Lord, our senses are usually monofunctional. Our one sense can do the perform, one can cannot do the two functions, two functions, no. Eyes can only see, nothing but eyes can do it, and ears can only hear, and that's what it is. But this tongue is only bifunctional sense. He is asking here in this stand that by the Namali Sevan Koi Jivadu Swayam Eva Suratyada, by engaging with tongue in service of the Lord, and tongue can be engaged in the service of the Lord. That's the only sense which is bifunctional, which can perform two functions. One function is vibrating, chanting the holy, and second function is tasting Krishna Prasada. So tongue is bifunctional. By engaging this tongue in bifunctional, in its constitutional position, by saying, by taking Krishna Prasadam and by chanting the holy name, this thing will be automatically revealed into your heart. So this is how you can understand Krishna's Nam Rup Gun Lila. Krishna's Nam Rup Gun Lila we cannot grasp by our material. Because material senses are too blunt. They cannot take. Yes, these material senses have to be real speaking blunt, and they are on material platform. They have to be spiritual. How can you spiritualize something that is blunt, that is material? But that when we engage in service of Krishna, it becomes spiritualized. The example of iron rod is given. Iron rod is iron rod itself. When you put it in fire, it becomes fire ice. There is no more iron rod at this time. If you cannot say that it is iron rod, let me touch it. It's not. It was iron before, we put it in fire, it has become fire ice now. So it has acquired place of fire now, and it can start another fire. So when our senses are engaged Krishna, Krishna, our senses become Krishnized. And when Krishna becomes Krishna, you can understand Krishna. You can see the what powerful sense is there. This is how material senses can be spiritualized, by engaging in Krishna. So we engage all of the senses in Krishna's service, they become all Krishnized. And if we continuously chant the holy name of Krishna all the time, then they always Krishnized. Otherwise they go back and forth. Material spiritualized, material spiritual. But that's why if you want to continue on the same platform, then we must continue this chanting of the holy name all the time. And by engaging, and keep our senses in serving Krishna. Our senses are not meant, the definition of one sense, definition of bhakti is given that when we try to satisfy our senses, then it is not a bhakti. Nijendriya priti vancha devalika, Krishnendriya priti chadhare premna. If you want to say what is, if you want to say what is this thing, lust, the definition is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Atmendriya priti vancha tare balika. Atmendriya means for my satisfaction. If I using my senses for satisfying my senses, then it is a lust. But when this senses, the same senses are used in satisfying Krishna's senses, then it becomes love. So it change from love to lust. We have to change our attitude, we have to change our senses from engaging, not for personal purpose, but for satisfaction of Krishna. And to use the senses, but that is what we are doing in temple. What we are doing in temple is what we try to say Krishna's sense. And when you try to satisfy Krishna's senses, the person becomes at all. And then by satisfying Krishna's sense, we become automatically satisfied. And satisfaction comes from there. So this satisfaction comes by engaging senses. So we have to understand that when we satisfy Krishna, automatically we become satisfied too. Like example is given, when we want to see the tree, when tree is growing, when there is a tree, in order to satisfy the tree, you don't pour the water on the leaf, you don't put the water on the tree, you don't put on the branch, you put the water right on the root. And by putting the water right into the root, it goes to the every place. It goes to the branches, it goes to the trees, it goes to everywhere else. The result comes out. So if you want to satisfy, then you have to go to the root. Similarly, if you want to satisfy, of course this is an example, but if you want to satisfy all senses, then you must put the food in the water, in the mouth. You can put the food, if you want to satisfy the eyes, you can put the water, you can put in the eye, or you cannot put the food in the ear in order to satisfy ear. If you want to satisfy all the limbs of the body, then you must know where to put the food. And food will go to the stomach. When the food goes in the stomach, naturally the nourishment will go every limb, every part of the body. So that's like a tree. You cannot do tree for everything separately. Each branch, each leaf, each part, but you must put the water. So one must understand what is the root. And if you want to satisfy really, everybody, then we must know what is the root. Root is Krishna. If you satisfy Krishna, everybody will be satisfied. Everybody will be satisfied. It is not that myself. Everybody will be satisfied. There is an example of Durvasa Muni. If I'm not wrong, I think it's Durvasa Muni. Right?
And Draupadi.
Durvasa Muni. When Pandavas were in exile in forest, Durvasa Muni is a person, you know, that he becomes very easily angry and can curse, can give you some trouble. So Durvasa was in Hastinapur and Duryodhana was visiting. He was visiting Duryodhana, and then just out of envy, Duryodhana said, "Oh, my cousins are in forest. Please go and visit them." So he said, "Okay, I'll visit." So Durvasa, so many disciples decided to come to Yudhishthira. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, they were all in jungle with, of course, Draupadi and 5 Pandavas. And Durvasa Muni approached Yudhishthira Maharaj, "We are going to take a bath in the water lake. When we come back, please serve our prasadam." In the meantime, Draupadi and Akshay Patra, you know that everybody must know the story. It is not something not known. But Akshay Patra can give as much as possible food as long as Draupadi has not eaten. And then, unfortunately, Draupadi has already eaten. So there is no question that this Patra can give any more food. And then they know that how Durvasa Muni is. So they remember now Krishna, what to do, how to. So they remember Krishna on the scene. And they say, this is the situation. So he said, "Let's see, is there anything in the pot, the Akshay Patra?" And Krishna was looking inside, they say sometimes there was a little spinach, probably they say sometimes there was a little grain of rice, whatever it is. There was some grain of rice or little piece of spinach sticking inside. Krishna took it and ate it. That's it, Krishna ate it, and then Durvasa Muni and these disciples were thinking that we eat it, but it looks like that we are no more hungry at this time. We told them to come and take prasadam, but we are no more hungry now. If we go to him, they will feel offended. They come and they will eat. So I think Durvasa Muni thought that let's go directly from here to some places. We don't go and visit Yudhishthira Maharaj. So they did Yudhishthira Maharaj, and they just went away. So by satisfying Krishna, everybody got satisfied. Everybody got satisfied. I mean, you person who are not Krishna conscious, they can be satisfied. If you remember, of course, in this country when Prabhupada, there were only natives, Americans were only enjoying the movement, nobody else was there. And the parents of these children, they were worried, "Oh, these people are becoming Hindus, these people are becoming that, these people are going this. They had some all kinds of conceptions. Even sometimes they have kidnapped our devotees and they have to go to the court to release them. And so many problems were at that time in the beginning. After so many years of this happening, same devotees and same parents, after devotees were of course serving with sincerely Krishna, all the children of them, they were serving all the time Krishna. And when Krishna became satisfied, at one point their parents were so much agnostic that they didn't want to look at their sons. And now they are so much happy that my children are on the right path and they became happy. So you can see that how Krishna satisfied everybody else. At one point, parents didn't want to see that. Even we remember the cases of abduction. Children were abducted from home and from the temple, and they were hidden someplace. But when parents found out that their children are on the right path, what is American society, how American society children treat them, they have all kinds of hemoglobin going on with the children and youngsters. So now they know that they are on the right path, and now they are very happy. So they appreciate now. At one point they were not ready to even accept it. Now they are doing all those things. So they can see that how by satisfying Krishna, you can satisfy everybody. That is the point. So we try to satisfy Krishna by our service, everybody will be satisfied. Even though they are not Krishna conscious, they will be satisfied and they will understand. At least this person is on the right path. They are not getting into our whole rules of this society is very, very clear that we don't have any kind of a sinful activity at all. We keep all from sin. And most of the time you see that in Western countries, these 4 sins are everything is very common. And then when we hear that And is not involved in these four kinds of sin. They become happy, at least they are on the right path. Whatever they are doing, they are on the right path. They are happy with them. So if they are happy, we should be. That's what the person is. So when Krishna, by satisfying Krishna, you can satisfy all other persons who are not even Krishna conscious. His parents were not Krishna conscious. They didn't want to come. They didn't want to bother about this thing. But now they appreciate this thing. And now they see their sons and daughters, whoever is there. This is what Krishna consciousness is. This is what bhakti. Bhakti is so powerful. The bhakti is so good that it can convince anybody else. Develop this love of Godhead. By developing love of Godhead, one can change the heart of somebody else quickly. And this is the process of Krishna consciousness. We don't want to change somebody to something else, but we want to change their hearts so that they keep on serving Krishna and they remain Krishna conscious throughout their life. So this is how you can develop our bhakti. As I mentioned, Prahlad Maharaj is the one who is great Mahajans, and he is the one who teaching us this thing, bhakti. Bhakti Sri Prahlad Maharaj is youngest one, as I mentioned, and he was giving us the idea how to love Krishna, how to develop our Krishna consciousness, and how to get out of this material world to go back to that to God. That is where we have come from. We came from, this is actually a foreign country for us, for the soul and for the body. This is a foreign country. But we must understand how to go back to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness teaching us how to go back to our home, real home. That's our real home. This is a temporary home. This is asat. This whole civilization is a temporary civilization. And because of this temporary civilization, we are always in anxiety and tension and always worry. Because this thing is not transitory. This thing is very temporary. And when we become attached to temporary things, we always worry that this temporary will go away from my hand at one point. It will go away. And once it goes away, that's why I'm always anxiety and tension. That what is this temporary thing I'm going to keep it? This is called asat. The whole material civilization is your asat platform. And people try to be satisfied with that thing. You cannot. Because this is a temporary thing. The nature is temporary. So it has to go away at one or the other point. So we can keep on holding it. But only we can hold it on the Krishna consciousness, the love for God, we can hold it on. It will come with us. It will be all the time. Whether in this world or in the next one, we will be serving Krishna all the time. And that is why we should keep always Krishna in the center of our activity, and then we should perform our daily activities. Keeping Krishna in the center is the right thing. And then by that activity, you will be satisfied, or you will be satisfied, and you will have a chance, or you will have a taste Krishna will give you. If you don't finish your bhakti somehow or the other in this lifetime, Krishna will give you next time another chance, give you another birth in a rich family, or birth in a family of devotee, where you can continue, or devotional service where you get top. That's why it happens. So if you somehow or the other could not finish up this bhakti path in this lifetime, you don't have to worry. Krishna is going to give you another chance to this human body, which is a rare body. Human body does not come apart going through 8 million how this piece of life. One comes to the human body, and that human body is dead. Then again you go back in the cycle of birth, of age, disease, and death. You go back again in the cycle. So human body is the only loophole where you can get out of the cycle, and we can go back to your place, go back home, or you can come back in the material Krishna again and again. So that chance will be always given to you. But one must go on Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. Jai.
Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
So let's thank His Grace Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu once again with the love. Hari Bol! Thank you Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu for such a wonderful reminding us of the essence that Krishna can only be known through the process of devotional service. It's a wonderful verse, wonderful topic, and thank you for your kind guidance. So as noted here, please take prasadam. We're going to form the two lines. So one line should be coming in through that door, and the other line will be through this door. Okay? So just so that we can manage the crowd, it's a new approach we're going to try. Hopefully it will go smoother this time. So please give it a shot. Let's try not to crowd out the lobby area there. Hare Krishna. And please note that if you're going to be taking prasadam in the temple hall,
We will be having the Shayana Aarti. So to prepare for that, by 6:45, we want to clear out of the temple halls. Please note of that. Hare Krishna.